Bismillah Rahman Rahim. God, thank you once again for bringing us together, for bestowing your blessings upon us for another year. And we look forward to the blessings that you bestow upon us from this minute on, because nothing is promised but the fact that we come in this life to die. And everything in between, you gave us the power to control when it comes to ourselves. We welcome everybody in your name.
Most of you are familiar with this practice. Some of you may not be, but it is a cultural practice where we use water, symbolic of the waters of life, to remember that our ancestors are a part of that great circle of life. We use the plant to honor Mother Earth, as we also recognize that all things return to the earth. We want to begin our libation today by thinking back and honoring the source of all that is, the great mother, the great father, from whom all things come and to whom all things return. We honor the creator, the mother and the father of us all, and we say communally, Ashe.
Ashe.
We also want to honor those ancient ones, those first people that inhabited the planet, who we can call our first ancestors, those people who built great civilizations, those people who gave us all that we know in the form of architecture and music and all of the things that we call now parts of civilization, medicine, astronomy. All of those things that we hold dear as a part of civilization came from our ancestors, those first people, those people who built the pyramids, people like Imhotep, the father of medicine, all of those ancient ones. We say and we remember them and we say Ashe.
Ashe.
We also give thanks for those Africans who are part of our direct bloodline, those Africans who inhabited the west coast of Africa during the time of the beginning of the transatlantic slave trade, those Africans who were stolen, who were sold, who some of them whose bones now line the Atlantic. It's said if you could take all of the water out of the Atlantic, there would be bones from the west coast of Africa down through the Caribbean islands and up through the New World that we call America, forming a triangle of that slave trade. We honor those Africans, some of whom chose to die. We honor them by saying Ashe.
Ashe.
We also honor those Africans who chose to live. And that's a big statement, because some Africans chose to live through the horrors of the Middle Passage. We sit here today. Without them, none of us would be here. So to those Africans whose names we do not know, but who chose to live through that horror of the Ma'afa of the Middle Passage, we never want to forget the sacrifices that they made that we might be here. And so we honor them by saying Ashe.
Ashe.
We come up to the part in history where we can begin to recall the names of some of those African people who made great contributions to this new world that we call America, who helped to build this great country. People like Harriet Tubman.
Ashe.
Help me call some of the other names that we know from that period of time. Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Ashe.
Booker T. Washington.
Ashe.
George Washington Carver.
Ashe. Nat Turner.
Ashe.
Denmark Vesey.
Ashe.
Frederick Douglass.
Ashe. We don't know the names of these slaves who, in 1865, started in 1864, December 31st,
Yes.
praying and watching for the new year to come,
Yes.
because it had been declared that they would be free on
January
January 1st, 1865. So to those slaves whose names we don't know, who gave us the history of the watch night,
Ashe.
Ashe.
Ashe. As we come closer to this point in history. They are more contemporary heroes and sheroes who gave much that we might be here, who made their transition from this world knowing that they had done their part to increase our evolution as a people. People like the Honorable El Hajj El Malik El Shabazz, also known as Malcolm X.
Ashe. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Ashe.
Dr. Martin Luther King.
Ashe.
Sister Coretta Scott King.
Ashe.
Ashe.
Rosa Parks.
Ashe.
Ashe.
P.H. Polk.
Ashe. We also remember those people from our own family lineage whose names we know because they were our grandmothers and our great-grandmothers, our great-grandfathers, our aunts, our uncles, those people whose names we can call from our family tree, and we can just say these in unison. My great-great-great-grandmother, Mary Todd.
Ashe.
Catherine and Will Jones.
Ashe.
Alice Avery Cadell.
Ashe.
Lucinda
George White.
Ashe.
Lucinda Mapson.
Ashe.
Congressman Robert Small.
Ashe.
Colonel Mapson and Lily Mapson.
Ashe.
Anna E. Platts.
Ashe.
Robert Patton and Virginia Patton.
Ashe.
Ashe.
My grandmother, Bessie Maps.
Ashe.
Dorothy and Joseph Parrish.
Ashe. Catherine and Alphonsa McGowan.
Ashe.
And now we come to the last of the libation that we pour for those children who have yet to come, those children who will come into this world. And we need to make sure that we have done our part to make this a better place for them to inhabit. To those unborn children, we say Ashe.
Ashe.